Hello, 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 and welcome to this video. I am Captain Jack, and this is going to be the start of, I guess, what you could call a video uploading career, if you will. I'm going to hopefully start doing some videos, if not daily, then at least a few times a week. Some interesting stuff, different games, doing some let's plays, some first looks, and just taking a look at the world of gaming in general. So hi, and today I'm looking at Elite Dangerous. I've already played it a little. Never played any of the originals, so it's kind of a fresh look from an outside world, outside view. As I said, I've already played it a little bit. I just sort of basically started off in the basic ship and did a few missions, and then made a bit of cash, bought a new ship, and I've been slowly doing some more missions to build up some more stuff. So I'll sort of give a general overview of the game, how you play it, the basics of flight control and that kind of thing, and yeah, just go from there really. So let's get into it, shall we? And I may skip this section of loading. So here we are. I am currently in the Lomas Orbiter, which is a space station orbiting around a planet of a solar system. Let's have a look. You see, if you press in-game, press 1, and it brings up your sort of general interaction menu, where you're going to be spending a lot of your time going through things. So you've got navigation, is the location section, has all of the local planets, stations, basically places you can go to in your solar system, and as you get further down the list it will then move on to local galaxies, local other systems in the galaxy, which you can then either just scroll across and select them all the way down like that, or you can just use the system map and galaxy map. So if we take a look at the system map, which just takes a second to load. There we go. So this is the system I'm in at the moment. I've got the single sun, which is Wolf 359, and then you've got the Lomas Orbiter, which is where we are now, and there's this other station, which is Powell High. And here it shows you what kind of things these stations do, like who governs them, what their allegiance is, independent, federation, I think alliance as well, influence, your relationship to them. I'm neutral at the moment, but if you attack them or do lots of pirating in the area, you can make them really hate you, and you basically won't be allowed to dock, and they'll just shoot you if you come near them. Or you can have a really great relationship with them, and you get like better rewards from them, and depending on what faction it is, it goes towards influence with that faction. Like if it's the Federation, I found this out the hard way, but you need to have a great relationship with the Federation to get to the Sol system, which is like our own home system where Earth is and all that lot. You have to have a great relationship with the Federation to even be allowed to go there, because they run it, and that means doing jobs for them. This down here shows what facilities to have. So commodities is the commodities market, which I'll show you in a minute, and then you can refuel, repair, rearm, outfit your ship, which I'll also show you in a minute, and the shipyards, which again I'll show you in a minute. This is what economies they have. So it might be agricultural, so they might have like a lot of farming goods like corn and things like that, or industrial, which means they'll have a lot of things that are made chemically or mechanically. This is what they take in, and then this is what they will export to you. So basically what they'll buy and what they'll sell. And things that you're not allowed to bring here is in the prohibited list: weapons, tobacco, narcotics, slaves. So yeah, and then it just shows you stuff about the actual planetary alignments and things like that, and stellar data. So it's quite a lot to show there. That there is my cache, in case you're wondering, 606,000. Not a clue who Zachary Hudson is, but he's pretty much the first explorer of every system I've been to so far, so I'm guessing it's an admin or a moderator or a beta tester or something. And then if we go back, either back or exit, they both bring you back to this. And then we go galaxy map, and this shows you the wider galaxy. Now as you can see, you can go down, go up. This is Wolf 359 here. This is Sol system, if you can see it just down here. Sol, that's us, Earth and Venus and Mars and all the rest. Yeah, like I said, you have to have a special license to get there because it's controlled by the Federation. I'm not really, I think I'm kind of neutral with them at the moment. I haven't done enough to build up my relationship. But basically, like where I started, that red sign symbol there, that means that I have a ship stored there. But where I started was somewhere around that region, around Cremain. Arise sector, where was it? I can't remember where it was where I started, but it was really, really far away, and I basically had to go to plot a route through all these different systems to get down here near the Sol system. And this is kind of my home sort of running area at the moment. What I'll generally tend to do is go between there, and if I can see it, which I don't think I can. No, I can't. Well, there's Vega. Somewhere around here, even though it's hiding from me currently, is should actually be connected to this system. Oh, okay, I've actually gone the wrong way. That's why I can't find it. I should be connected to Wolf. There we go. See, it's very complicated. It's a full-on 3D map. But somewhere around here now, still can't find it. Is I can't even remember what it's called now. Alpha Centauri. That's it. Alpha Centauri, which is like our next closest solar system. So really, it should be around here somewhere, around Sol. There it is, that Alpha Centauri. That is basically my base of operations. They've got a black market facility there, so you can do a lot of dodgy stuff, as well as some more commercially acceptable stuff. So yeah, that's so like the whole big galaxy with all the different systems inside it. And then you've got transactions, which are the jobs you're running. These are some fines that I've got for a bit of naughtiness. I don't actually have a job on at the moment. And then contacts are different ships that are in your vicinity, or the station you're at, which I'll explain more about in a minute. Sub-targets only comes up when you're targeting someone. Like sub-targets means like engines and shield systems, so you can target individual systems to try and take them out first. And then cargo is when you have a cargo. So if we come off of that, number 4 button will give you this screen, which is where you have a look at your status, what modules you've got put on your ship, power distribution, multi-cannons, shield generators, thrusters, you know, that kind of thing. These are my fire groups. Cargo, don't have any at the moment. And functions, so like what everything's status is, like silent running's off, ship lights are off, flight assist, pre-flight checks are off because I've played the game enough to know all the buttons. But pre-flight checks is one thing you want to turn on when you're new to the game, because it reminds you, it might be quite a bit of time like figuring stuff out between your flights, and it just reminds you where your different buttons are before you take off and think, oh crap, how do I fly this thing, and then crash. And yes, I did do that several times. If we then go to the actual center bit here, you can return to surface, which will raise up this launch pad back onto like the surface where you landed. You can just launch, which does the same thing, but then just detaches you straight away. And then you've got starport services. You get this in every single station you'll fly to. You'll come down to the starport services, and then you've got all these options here. So home is just this screen. Well, it's an empty screen. Then you've got munitions, which is where you'll rearm all your guns. You have repairs, which is where you can repair everything. Paintwork always seems to go, but I imagine that paintwork is the thing getting hit by all like the radiation and the solar activity and all that. So it's only 10 credits, and I just repair it when I can be bothered. Bulletin board. The bulletin board is where you get your jobs. Now, a lot of people don't really like doing this. Most people will just do the commodities market, which I'll show you in a minute. I like doing these jobs much better and much quicker way of making money at first. Yeah, this ship doesn't even... It's an upgraded ship, but it's not massive, so it doesn't have a lot of cargo capacity. But it has enough to do things like this. So you've got available missions here, and then these are the missions that are available, but you can't get them for whatever reason, like because I'm not a novice here, or because required rank competent, and I haven't really done a lot of combat yet, so I haven't built up. But look, 155,000 credits. That's enough to buy the ship I'm in and fit it with a load of extras. So I've basically just been doing jobs that were worth anywhere between 60 and 150,000 credits, and slowly been building up, then buying new parts for the ship, then building up, then buying new parts. So I fit into all of these levels, all these requirements, and then what you do is you look at the starport, you look at what starport it's needed at, and then you look at what the system it's needed in. So I've got to take this to the Gandela system, to the Evins City outpost. So I'm going to accept that for now, just so that it's done, because these missions don't stay up forever. They will disappear. And then I'll show you the rest of this stuff before we take off. I've got some time with that, so it's okay. Contacts is just where you can... different things, like fines. If you've got outstanding fines, you can pay them here. Old fines. Bounties, if you have one on you. I'm not quite sure what trade dividends is yet. I know it's completely useless of me to not know, but I don't, because I haven't come across it. And then you've got combat bonds. Again, haven't come across these properly yet, so I will leave it to someone more experienced to explain that. Don't want to confuse people. Alright, outfitting. Outfitting is where you set up your hard points. Hard points are where you basically attach things to your ship. I've got a medium hard point. I have this multi-cannon, which is basically like a Gatling gun. It's got quite a good bit of like hit power on it. It's gimbaled. There are two kinds of weapons, gimbaled and fixed. Fixed means the gun itself won't move, and the way to aim it is to move your ship. Gimbaled means that the gun can move independently of the ship. Not a massive amount, but a little bit to the left, right, up, down, you know, all around. So it can lock onto your targets, so you don't have to aim the ship directly at them. I've got that, and I've got these two massive cannons, which again I think are gimbaled as well. Then you've got a shield booster, which just increases my shield strength, and a chaff launcher in case someone tries to target me. Then you've got internal. Now when you first start off, this is my ship by the way, this is the Adder. When you first start off, you'll be in like a Sidewinder. You won't really have a lot of this available. I've got reinforced bulkheads on my ship. I've upgraded the power plant. The thrusters I haven't done yet, or the frameshift drive, or the life support. Power distribution, sensors, fuel tanks, cargo racks, shield generators. All of this I think I've upgraded. Fuel scoop is very handy, because when you start to run low on fuel, once you come into a solar system, what you got to do is fly near to the sun. Not so close you get burnt. You've got to be very careful when you do it. You fly near to the sun, and it just automatically starts scooping up fuel, and then you refuel without having to worry about drifting through space without any fuel, which again I have done, and it's not fun. Basically all you can do in that situation is hit eject and respawn and lose your progress. Not all your progress, but your progress up to that point. Yeah, so that's all that. The other thing there was paint jobs. These four here are just sort of quick options. You quickly reload your ammo, repair your ship, and refuel either 10% or refuel the whole lot. Local news here, GalaxyNet, all that there. Nothing really majorly important. This just tells you about where you are. Shipyard is where you buy your ships. So this is the Sidewinder, which is your basic starting ship, which you get given. Then you've got the Eagle, which is kind of the next one up from there. hauler, again, the next one up from there is a bit slower, but it can carry a lot more. It's kind of like a cargo ship rather than the combat vessel, which the first two mostly are. This is what I have, the Adder. And the Adder is quite good because it's fast, it's manoeuvrable. It's basically still a combat ship, but it has a lot of cargo capacity compared to the smaller ones. So it's kind of like the middle ground, a good place to go once you've got enough money to buy your first ship. As you can see, it says shields and armor down because mine are upgraded, so I'm a bit better than the standard. My top speed and boost are a bit down a bit as well. That's bad. Anyway, then you've got the Viper, which again is the next one up. A bit less cargo capacity, but it is much faster. So it again goes more towards the fighter side of things. And then you just go straight up to Crazy Town, basically, with the Lacon transporters. This is the Type 6. These are just pure cargo ships. I was looking at getting this one, but it has less hard points on it. And that, for me, is kind of annoying, because the hard points are where you put your guns. And with a ship that's big and slow and lumbering like this, you want a lot of guns. So I'm going to stay away from that one, and I'm going to just save as much money as I can to get to the next one. I don't think the next one is on here. No, it's not. But basically the next one after that I think is the Type 9. But that's millions. So I've got some time to go before I can get that. But I think that's probably going to be the next one for me. After that you have your shipyard commodities market. So this is what most people do. Once they've got a bit of cash made up, this is where they'll go. And I don't know if it's still about, but there used to be this great little like downloadable app you could get from this website, which would tell you where in the galaxy like all the commodities are going and to and from, how much they're worth. So if you needed to download to buy a certain amount of something because it's desperately needed in another system, you could just type all your details into this thing and it would do it. And yeah, so that makes this a good place to make money. It's kind of like a stock market. You take your chance with it. You buy a load of, say you buy, well, they've got a supply off here, they've got quite a lot of clothing here. So you'd buy a load of clothing at quite a cheap price and then take it to another solar system, to another station, and then if someone's got a high demand for it, see this, they don't have any supply of consumer technology, but they've got a very high demand, then you can sell it to them for a massive amount. So it's buying and selling. It's kind of the stock market of the galaxy. And then you've got lots of different types of things: machinery, industrial materials, legal drugs. This is foods. A lot of the food type things you can find in agricultural systems. Always good to check what system you're going into before you head out. Have a look on the galaxy map and the solar system maps, and just make sure you go to the right place. And yeah, there's lots of things on here you can buy. If you buy high enough quantities, if you've got like a big transport ship, if you buy a high enough quantity, go and sell it somewhere. Even if you're making a very small profit per item, the total, because of the amount you've got, is going to be massive. So it is worth doing. But I'm not really... I'm more into doing the jobs at the moment because I'm making a ton of cash out of that and I don't have a massive cargo bay. Maybe once I've got the bigger ship, I'll move on to doing this kind of thing. After that, just Universal Cartographics, which is where you can buy or sell maps of the solar system or galaxy. So when you're flying about, so I've got all these maps where I've been to places that I've not discovered yet, so it gives me the discovery for them, which gives me the map of the system. This place doesn't want any of these maps because these are all too close. But if I was to go really, really far away, when I was showing you that galaxy map, if I was to go like right over the other side of the map, they would pay quite a lot for this stuff because to them it's alien space. They don't know it. So it's worth holding on to this stuff until you get a bit further away from where you took the system information. So where do we right now? Let's go to exit, and if I go back to the one button, I can see my job is here. Smugglers run to Ivin City. Let's cut to the chase. We source illegal commodities. Right now, we got a buttload of Imperial slaves and a bunch of reprobates over in the Gandela system, crying out for them. Make it over to the starport without getting scanned or taken out, and I'll make it worth your while. So this is going to get me 155,000 credits. It's 5 slaves, and as you can imagine, that's quite a bad thing, but it's a game, so it's not terrible, and it gets me a lot of money. So that's, oh, actually I need to have a look at that. So it's the Gandela system in Vin City. So now what we do is we go across the navigation and we go to Galaxy Map, and then it will have this little orange icon telling me that that is where I need to be. So if we click on Gandela, and this little button here, this sets it up as your destination, so it'll put it on your map and say this is where you want to go, and this one here will plot the route. And so if you can see, it's plot the route. It's taking me to that one because I can't make it this far just yet, as my jump drive isn't strong enough. So it's taking me to this, which is closer, and then I'll jump across to here. But what you can also do, if you need to go somewhere specific in that system, if you click on the system map button, and it'll load the solar system map for that system. And once it's done that, now you can check to see where Ivin City is. So that's Garayport, Ivin City. So again, you click on this one to make it your target, and you click this to plot the route, and now it's going to automatically take you straight to Ivin City. So we can exit out of that. If we click return to surface, I could just click launch straight away, but I'll show you all the options. And while I'm doing that, if I explain to you the HUD of the ship, where we have the low mass orbiter area, starport service information in the middle, that obviously I've explained. On the close right of that, the 3 blue circles with the shape of my ship inside it, that is health of my ship, and the 3 blue circles are my armor, my shield. On the far right, we have systems information about specific systems. So as you can see, I've got systems, engine and weapons, and I'm using a joystick to play this, and with the hat button I can press it left and I can add more power to the systems. I can press it right and add more power to the weapons, or up, which I've done at the moment, and add more power to the engine. You see those little dots under each of the bars. And then if I press it down to RST, that resets everything. And on the right side of that, mass locked means just that your mass is locked. Usually it happens inside and around stations. Once you get far enough away from the station, that will disappear, then you can go to jump. Landing gear, obviously because it's down because I'm parked. And then your cargo scoop, which you use to pick up cargo that's floating through space. Now on the right of your on the left of your center section, sorry, you have just sort of your generalized general map of the area. It shows a little picture of the system, or as I'm inside of the station, it will show the station. And just on the very right of that little crosshair, it shows me if I'm pointing towards my target or if I'm pointing away from my target. It just helps you line up to where you need to be, because you're in space, there is no up and down, it's a constant turning universe, so it is quite hard to figure out where you're going sometimes, and it really does help. And on the very, very far left, that's just information about like where you are. So I'm inside the low mass orbiter. Wolf 359 blue travel commodities, run it. Yeah, that's all we need to know. And I think that LHS 292 is my next destination, which is 7.7 light years away. At the very top left, we have oh god, didn't mean to do that. We have information. It's the chat screen. No one to talk to at the moment, so we'll leave that. And on the right is just your info. It tells you when you've got contacts on your radar or you've lost a contact. So let's take off. Now launching. Oh yeah, when I landed last time I had full power. Right, it's really finicky with these controls. It does not like to be moved too quickly. Let's keep going. Take my landing gear up. Let's go a lot slower inside the starport, but I never do. I always zoom straight in and out, because you never know when someone's going to come zooming in or out behind you and crash into you. So it's good to get out of there fast. But if you're new to it, don't worry, just go slow. So we have our destination locked. These some other ships flying around out here. So there's a bit of a firefight going on, so let's turn away from that. As you can see with the little orange crosshair that points me to where I need to go, as I move up, it comes down to be locked, and there it is. That's where I need to go. And now what I do is, once that mass locked button unhighlights, and I know that I'm good to go, you press the J button, and it flicks your frameshift drive on. And then we zoom away. So I think we're going to skip to mass lock. Right, and now mass lock has gone off. We can hit the J button.
Frameshift drive charging.
Frameshift drive will take a few seconds to load. If you see in the bottom right on the fuel bar, that blue section of the fuel bar means that's how much fuel I'm going to use in this jump. And now we need to throttle up. And when we're at full power,
3, 2, 1, engage.
And he jumps. So this is what it looks like jumping to a new system. It's always a little bit laggy with the frame rate, the system jump. Really doesn't like it. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone's game run probably that. And there's one thing you've got to be careful of. When you come out of frame jump,
Fuel scoop disengaged.
you will get hurtled towards the sun, so immediately steer away. Don't let go of your controller or go out the room thinking it's going to take ages. You will get thrown into a sun. Now this is what I was talking about with the fuel scoop. If I can find that sun. Right, slow it down a bit. Yeah, there's the sun. So if I get a bit closer to it, just to quickly show you what's going on with the fuel scoop. So once I get up to a little way away from it, also keep an eye on your heat.
Fuel scooping.
44% at the moment. See that fuel scooping? I'm not very low on fuel at the moment. It lasts a long time, fuel. So it's not really necessary to do this unless you're really desperate. But once your heat starts going up, you definitely want to pull back because you can burn your ship out pretty badly. So let's put the power back up and head on to the next target. This is the next section of the jump because it's a long one. So with this one,
fuel scoop disengaged.
press J.
Frameshift drive charging.
And charge again. And then we should be good to go. It's charging quite slowly. This jump uses a lot less fuel because it's a much shorter
4,
jump.
3, 2,
Although I think the animation and should be coming in for the jump any second. There we go. And again, throw another sun. So we'll pull away from that. And then we'll turn the ship around. That takes us back towards the sun, but that's where I want to go, Divincity.
fuel scooping.
Just go around that sun a little bit. Get too close and it'll throw you out of frameshift drive, which is what this drive is that I'm using to fly through the galaxy. Because the speed I was going when I came out of the starport is too slow to go through the galaxy. And it's very, very, not complicated, but tricky to get the hang of with this whole frameshift drive thing, because I'm going quite fast at the moment. And I can slow it down. You see on the bottom left there, you've got distance and speed. And what you want to do is you want to get the little bar that's dropping in and out of the speed bar, that little line, you want to get that into the blue just as the bar for distance is going into the blue. You don't want to go too slowly or it's going to take you ages to get to your destination once you're in a solar system. But obviously you don't want to go too fast because you can overshoot and then you've got to keep turning around. It's a pain in the ass. As you'll see, the line has just dropped into the distance bar now. So as I start to get closer, I will slow it down and I will gradually bring the speed line down with the distance line, trying to keep them quite level. And then should be alright. There we go. Right, if I keep that about there, the speed bar line does drop A little bit quicker than the distance one does. So just got to wait for them to drop down. I think we will cut to that. So here we are, and if you press J as you get to that point where both the lines are in, and J drops you back into, eventually, when it stops messing around, there we go, drops you back into normal flight mode, which means that I'm going at the same speed I was when I left the previous dock. And this is Yvin City. Now I should mention, as it says in the bottom right, I have an illicit cargo, so it is very illegal. What you've got to do once you drop into your into the area of the docking station is, once you get within 7.5 km, press 1, go to contacts, Yvin City, we hit that, and then we request docking.
Docking request granted.
Yep, there you go, docking request granted. And it'll tell you down the bottom there what landing pad to head to. Now some of these stations are, you have to fly inside them through a port and find the correct pad, and they're easy enough. And some of them are these weirdly shaped stations, and sometimes you have to fly around for ages and try and find your pad. It glows orange as you're coming into it, so it's not difficult to find. It's not like you have to look for a number written on the wall or something, but it just can be a pain when they put them around the back. You gotta fly in and you gotta look around, and there is no real third-person view, so it means you've got to look around manually like this. Try and fly close and look, and then fly away a bit so you don't crash into the place. You get about 10 minutes to dock, so you're not going to run out of time. Right, there it is. Pad 1. Now you've got to be careful also, because other stations where you fly in, obviously there's only one way in, one way out, so you're flying to the correct way. But with these ones, you can fly to this pad any direction you wanted, but it will only accept you and basically drag you down to the pad once you're coming in from the right direction. So if I press that and get my landing gear out, then I usually come in
Landing gear deployed.
at a certain speed, say about 30, 25 to 30, and then as I come down to this point, I'll start to slow things down a little bit, and then right down to about 10 as I'm coming over the pad, and then down to about 5, just so I can get my alignment right. Some people will do this where they'll just come zooming in, touchdown. But I like to get it perfect. Call me a perfectionist. And then as that ship comes centered over the pad, it'll capture it like that. And if you're coming from the wrong direction, the pad will light up blue in your center viewport, but it won't capture you. So you need to make sure you're coming in from the right direction and you have your landing gear down. So let's enter the hangar, because you want to be shot off the pad by some rogue pirate. Click Starport Services. Welcome to Yvin City. And then we go back to the bulletin board. We go to the job, and we go to give cargo, and that is 155,000 credits. Simple. Good way to make cash. It can get you up to a point where you can have quite a good ship out of it. So if I was interested in getting that Type 6 Lacan, which has got quite a lot of cargo space, I can nearly afford it. And then after buying that, you can go into the whole commodities trading thing and make a lot of money. But be very wary of pirates trying to drag you out of frame shift drive and trying to shoot you down. By that point, you need to start really protecting yourself with weapons, countermeasures, things like that. But by that point, you should have a good enough understanding of the game to really be able to get away from them. So just have to be careful. But yeah, so that's kind of the basics of the game. I know I explained quite a lot. It wasn't exactly a quick review, but I'm just getting into this. So any hints, tips, advice, it's perfectly welcome. Just put them in the comments below. I will read them all. And if you have any ideas for games you'd like to see me play next, if you'd like to see an actual series of games or more random reviews, let's plays, just let me know any ideas. I've got a list of games I'm going to start to look at. Also, I do stream on Twitch. I don't have a regular schedule for that. Up until recently, I've only really been doing Xbox One games because I haven't had my computer set up properly. I should be doing a lot more PC games now as well, but I can do Xbox One or PC. So any ideas for games you'd like to see streamed as well, I will put my stream name, my Twitch name in the description. I don't have Facebook pages or anything like that set up yet, so you have to bear with me for that, but I will get to all that kind of stuff in the meantime. But for now, yeah, any ideas, any comments, just let me know below. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, a like, and please do subscribe, and hopefully we'll have a lot more great content coming soon. So thanks guys, and see you next time.